tell you, 2020, it's been a crazy year, you know, this COVID-19, it's all kind of, what's going on right now? What's happening? I hope they don't ask me for any money. I definitely didn't ask for this. Well, this is going to be for free. I didn't ask for this. This is happening. I don't believe this is happening. I don't have any money to do it. Hey everybody, it's the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition. Playing a little pitch and catch with my nephew Caleb.
Hey guys.
He's the next Jerry Rice. Want to show him?
Yeah,
Let's
do
go.
it.
You're gonna love this. Ready, set, go! Let's start the show. Yeah! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition with my nephew, Caleb Lopes, all the way from St. Port Lucie, Florida.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Man, it's great having you on the show, Caleb. What's been going on in the world of the NFL? Got any idea of who's going to the Super Bowl this year?
Honestly, my guess for this year is the Niners and Buffalo. How it's looking so far.
I like that. That's workable for me. That definitely works for me. We've got some wild ones coming up this week, and I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to ask you this. You know, the Washington Commanders are going to go with Carson Wentz this week as their starting quarterback. Are they making a mistake?
Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna change much. They haven't been playing well. That's an understatement all season, and I don't think anything's gonna change if they put in any quarterback that they have on their roster right now in Week 17. So I don't think it's a mistake, or I don't think it'll change anything.
This is why you can't take the Commanders seriously. Okay. You're going to go back to a guy you didn't believe in, and you're trying to make the playoffs. I don't know if I agree with this one too much. Let's look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Do they look like a real Super Bowl team to you? Do they look like a team right now that can win it all?
No.
Okay.
I'd say they're contenders to make it to the Super Bowl. But I really doubt that they have a slim chance of even getting there. I really think they're not looking like they're gonna win it all this year.
The Chiefs are winning. Their record is 12-3, I believe. Pretty stout record, but they're not looking like world beaters as they win games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're winning, but it's not a convincing win, and they're even barely getting by poor teams.
Yeah.
So
like
what exactly is it that Kansas City needs to do to get some things fixed in your mind?
Honestly, I think that their entire offense hasn't been working like the way that they've, like, I don't know really how to explain it. Like Patrick Mahomes, he's been really carrying the team. Like their defense hasn't been as good as usual. I feel like they just haven't been playing to their potential.
They have not. They have not. No, they haven't. And I tell you right now, they better get some things fixed, because it's almost playoff time, and they need to take care of business in a few areas, because they don't look like a well-oiled machine right now, like you would expect the Kansas City Chiefs to look like right now. Here's another question for you. Is there any point in the Buccaneers even showing up for the playoffs?
Honestly, I know that their record is is very bad. They're like a laughing stock right now.
Yeah.
But you can't doubt Tom Brady. No matter how bad his record is, no matter how bad he's performed all year, like you can wipe off the record. He's still the best of all time. If he makes it to the playoffs and starts playing to his level, I feel like it doesn't really matter what their record is. I feel like they still have a decent chance. At least like maybe make it to the second round of the playoffs.
No, I'll give you that because I mean, there's so many times that Tom Brady has left opponents looking like this.
Yeah.
Just like Packer fans. So it just, hey, you're right. I mean, heck, he gets in the playoffs, anything can happen. Never count Tom Brady out. I would totally agree with you on that one. And then as we move forward, if the Buffalo Bills seal home field advantage, do you think that just about guarantees a trip to the Super Bowl for Buffalo?
It sure would help, but honestly, no matter where you play, it doesn't really affect the way you play. If you play a good game, you can play a good game on the other side of the world, and and you can play a bad game on the other side of the world and still lose, and you can play a bad game in your house and still lose. So
Yes.
it it would help them, but it doesn't guarantee anything.
And I think this fellow would agree. It does not. Absolutely not. I totally agree. So we're going to, and I think that what you really have to ask is, do the Bengals pose the biggest threat to the Bills and the Chiefs as far as making the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they're the best team. Those three teams are really what they're the only teams in the NFC that I can see actually getting to the Super Bowl.
Well, I tell you, about 2 weeks ago, I was calling for the Miami Dolphins as the team everybody better watch out for in the AFC.
Yeah,
Like, they could be the big time spoilers. And then we watched them lose 3 games in a row. Okay.
yeah. No, wasn't
And
it four?
now I'm sorry, what's that, Caleb?
Wasn't it four? I'm pretty sure.
Now it's 4. It
Yeah,
was 3 in a row heading into the Packer game in Miami. You figured, okay, we got a Green Bay Packer team that's limping. Dolphins are at home. They'll get it going. And then sure enough, they lose that one. Now Tua's been complaining about concussion protocol, and the way he was throwing the ball around to the wrong team, you'd figure the concussions were effective. Anyway, look, I just got to ask you this. Are concussions affecting Tua Tagovailoa's current play?
of course. Because imagine now I'm pretty sure he's on IR right now because of
Yeah.
the Packers game.
Yeah.
That's three
Yeah.
concussions in the past 2 to 3 months.
Correct.
That's like massive amounts of brain trauma, and of course it's gonna affect his play. It might even he really hasn't been playing the same since that Bengals game.
Well, what's the guy's name from Miami? Tyreek Hill
Tyreek Hill.
had to pull Tua to the side and say, "Hey, yo, we're wearing green today. Check. Go to the tent." Anyway, so
No,
yeah, that was not that was not a good game for
it
Tua.
really
He,
wasn't.
he really gave. Oh, he gift wrapped the game for the Packers and keeping their hopes alive for the playoffs. And I don't mean to make light of it, but it's like, dude, you
You
don't
gotta
even
do
need to be
better than
playing
that.
football right now. Quite
Yeah,
frankly, and honestly.
honestly, I don't for the sake of his own good for his career. I don't think he should play for the next 2 games. Let him heal, because like
Yeah.
it's 3 times in one season. Is crazy. It's like and the irresponsibility of the coaches to tell him keep going, keep going, keep playing, even when they know that he's injured.
Well, I think everybody over there is irresponsible, beginning with Tua,
Yeah,
because you know your own body. You know your body better than anybody else. But we all witnessed him have his second concussion where he had to be flown to the hospital.
yeah, literally.
And 2 weeks later, he's back on the football field after two concussions. And I'm thinking to myself, he shouldn't take another snap for the rest of the season if
Season,
it
yeah,
were my call. But
yeah. So
yeah, I think that the concussions are starting to definitely
I
affect
love,
his play. There's no question about it. As we move forward, even though Jalen Hurts did not play against the Cowboys last week, Dallas won the game. It was a tight one against Gardner Minshew. I know I would not be throwing any parties because I beat Gardner Minshew. That being said, should the Eagles be concerned about their defense going into the playoffs? They gave up 40 points in the loss, and Gardner gave them 34.
mm-hmm. Honest, to a point, because the like I said on the last episode, when Dallas plays, they come to play. They really can pound that ball through the. They can throw the ball, they can run it. They have a very solid offense, but the Eagles defense, they did a pretty good job for the, I'd say, first half of the game. Then they really broke apart. So, like I said, they should be worried to a point.
Well, I mean, they do have to be worried because their quarterback, Dak Prescott, can't decide whether or not he's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going. And I just want to break down the top five teams, in your opinion, this year in the AFC as we take a look, as we get closer to playoff time. Who are your top five teams?
And in the AFC, I have to put Buffalo at 1, Bengals at 2, Kansas City, Chargers, and then Dolphins. I feel like
Charger.
the
Okay,
Chargers are
hold on.
really on a
I got to
come up.
get. Okay, okay. I got you. I got you. So you're telling me that your top five teams in the AFC, your power five, would be the Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Chargers, and the Dolphins. Okay,
Yes.
now I'm with you on the first three because I could and they could be in any order:
Yeah,
Bengals,
for
Chiefs,
sure.
Bills,
They're
Chiefs.
interchangeable.
However, but the Chargers at number four. I can kind of get with you on that one, but then what do we do with the Baltimore Ravens?
I just the Ravens right now, just because they don't have I'd switch the Dolphins and the Ravens just because of the
Yeah,
Dolphins
yeah,
performance.
yeah,
The Dolphins performance on
yeah.
Christmas Day. Tua Tunga Vailoa, he turned into Santa Claus. He was giving that ball over like they had spares,
Yeah.
and yeah.
He
So
turned into a department store Santa Claus. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but the thing is with the Ravens, they without Lamar, they have nothing. They
Yeah.
Lamar has that team on his back, and he's been carrying them for the past 3 years. So
Well, yeah, he has. He has. And they better pay Lamar Jackson.
it better because and the thing is, I don't think they will. That's the funny thing. I don't think he's gonna be on the Ravens next year.
You know what? At this point, I hope he's not.
Yeah,
I hope some other
they
team
don't
scoops
deserve
him
him.
up because
The
there's
Ravens
no
don't deserve.
excuse.
Mm-mm.
There's no excuse. Matter of fact, before the playoffs started, if I were the owner of the Ravens, I would call Lamar into my office and pay him.
Yeah, and sign that check.
Okay. But that being said, that's up to those good people up there in Baltimore. Let's look at the top five, your top NFC Power Five. Who you got?
The Niners, of course. Eagles, Cowboys, Vikings, and this one's hard because they haven't really been playing very well. But because of their win on Christmas, I have to put Green Bay.
Whoa! Whoa.
They
Okay, Caleb, you got me on that one. So you're telling me
they're also
that,
interchangeable
yeah,
with with the with the Lions. I think the Lions are AFC, NFC, right?
they're in the NFC North.
Yeah. I'd say Green Bay and the Lions are in the same category right now. Both of them are like right on that verge. I think if they win one more game during the playoffs, I think I'd put both of them in that same category at 5.
Well, they're thinking about making a sequel to the movie Superbad. They're in the same category. Let me just say this: um, you got the
Oh,
Niners, you got the Niners, the Eagles, Cowboys, Vikings, and the Packers. Now, what about the Giants?
the Giants, they've been a great team all season,
Okay,
but I don't see them. I don't see them getting anywhere in the
okay,
in the playoffs.
okay.
They are the best of the worst teams.
Okay.
That's what they are. And I just feel like the Packers are just a little bit better.
Well, I listen. I'm a Packer fan, and I would definitely like to believe you, but I'm also a realist that I've watched Green Bay play pretty poor football all year, and I'm just having a hard time giving them the nod into the Power Five. They have played better over the last month. They went undefeated in the month of December. So there's some merit to that. Whatever merit you can get out of that, you know, we'll take it. But
Yeah.
okay, hey, look, those are your thoughts, and they're honest enough. I just wanted to throw the Giants out there because they are 8-6, and they have, as we speak, a playoff spot right now, a wild card spot, as opposed
Yeah.
to the Packers and Lions, who are still, jousting for position to get that second one. So that being said, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's look at your NFL Power Five, your league Power Five.
I have the 49ers and Eagles on top again.
Okay.
Just because I only have the Eagles at number 2 because of their record. The 9-0, I think that really showed some grit by them. And then at 3, I have Buffalo, 4 Bengals, and then 5 Kansas City.
All right. Bengals, and then 5 again is who?
Kansas City.
Okay. So these are your NFL top teams here in the entire league. Niners, Eagles, I'm sorry, no, 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys. No, that's still the NFC. Let's get this thing right here. You said the
Yeah, you have
Chiefs.
it right. You got it
Yeah,
right.
let me see if I can get this thing right. There it is. 49ers, Eagles, Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs. So I can't argue with you on that. I mean, the 49ers look really good. I mean, the 49ers look like world beaters, dude. Whether the guy's name is Purdy or Ronald
Jimmy
McDonald.
Garoppolo.
Okay, they look really good. The Eagles, because of their record, I agree. You have to give them the number 2 spot. Then you got the Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs. And for my money, I think after the 49ers, you know what? I can't argue with that. That's a good list. I can't even dispute that one.
Yeah, the Eagles and the Bills, they're interchangeable right there. Like honestly, the last 4 are interchangeable. That's how strong I feel the 49ers are right now. They're undoubtedly the best team in the NFL.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. The Niners are really scary. And as we say that, let's look at the playoff picture right now. And we'll start at the AFC. Okay. We got the Buffalo Bills at 12-4 and the Chiefs at 12-4. They have clinched their division.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Bengals and Ravens 11-4 and 10-5 respectively. They've clinched playoff berths.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at them, and then in the wild card race, it's the Chargers at 9-6, the Dolphins at 8-7, the Jags, for goodness sakes, are 7-8, with the chance actually to win the AFC South because they're tied with the Titans. The Patriots are 7-8, Jets 7-8, Titans 7-8, Steelers 7-8, and the Raiders have a heartbeat at 6-9. Now, the lead dog for that first spot are the Chargers. In your opinion, who gets these two playoff spots?
Chargers, and I have to go with the Dolphins. Honestly, like,
okay,
they're so much better than every other team on here.
Yeah,
it'd be disrespectful not to pick them.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if you look at the numbers without Tua Tagovailoa, they're winless. You know, all of their games come with him being in the game, and he will not play this weekend coming up because of concussion protocol. He may not finish the season because of concussion protocol. Still going to go with the Dolphins?
Yeah, that's a big one. After that, I'd say either the Jags or Jets.
Well, I mean, they're still in the locker room right now trying to convince Tua we don't play for the Packers. They're still trying to convince him of that. So, I mean, you know, they're going in the wrong direction, dude. That's all I'm saying. So, I don't know about the Dolphins getting that last spot. I'll tell you right now, I agree with you about the Chargers. But I tell you right now, nobody's taking them seriously because they came out of nowhere. Watch out for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have been in every game this year, and now they're starting to cook. Yeah, I think that second spot's going to go to the Jags.
I really picked the Jets only because of their defense. Their defense can really hold it down when they need it.
Oh, they've got a very good defense. Yeah,
but that quarterback room, it really is horrible. It's horrible, bro.
It is.
It
is. And it doesn't matter if it's Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco, or Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, okay. they can't get anything going.
No, they can't. Matter of fact, I'd go with Ronald McDonald.
Yep.
I'd call McDonald's right now and say, "Get me Ronnie, please. Can you get him on the phone?" So anyway, yeah, it's bad. It's just really bad. I don't know what's going on with the Jets, dude, but they should be a playoff team. Can't move the ball.
Yeah, they really can't.
Can't move the ball. Let's switch over to the NFC. And the playoff picture over there has the Eagles at 13-2, the Dallas Cowboys at 11-4. These two teams have clinched a playoff berth. The division is still up for grabs.
Yeah.
The 49ers at 11-4 and the Vikings at 12-3 have clinched their divisions, their respective divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So they are a done deal as far as that goes. And then in the wild card hunt in the NFC, you've got the Giants at 8-6-1, the Commanders at 7-7-1, Tampa Bay 7-8, Seattle Seahawks 7-8, Detroit Lions, as you mentioned earlier, 7-8, Green Bay Packers 7-8, and the Panthers and Saints both have a heartbeat at 6-9. Who would you think would secure the two wild card spots available?
I have to go with the Giants for sure.
Yeah.
And then this one really is hard. The second spot.
Yeah.
I feel like all these teams are so unreliable and so just random.
Yeah.
They could go out like the Saints. The Saints. They're going to play. They're going to play the Eagles, and somehow they might win that game. That's just it's something that has always confused me about the NFL. Like the worst team can go up and like mollyrock the best team in their entire conference.
Yeah.
But then again, they probably aren't going to do that. So I'm going to have to pick. I think I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
Well, now here's the conundrum about all of this. To your point, it's very confusing that any of these teams have a right to say we got a shot.
Yeah.
But here's the conundrum with this entire deal. The Panthers and Saints both at 6-9 either win their division or they're out. They have no shot for a wild card.
Yeah.
Virtually no shot. And then the Buccaneers are in this kind of the same boat. Like if they don't win their division, they probably won't get a wild card either.
Yeah.
And if so, it's kind of weird, the way that setup is. Then you look at the Commanders, who have an opportunity to seal a playoff spot they got to win this week and next week. Why would you go back to Carson Wentz?
Yeah, that's
and that's kind of confusing there. And then you go back up to the AFC wild card race and you look at the 6-9 Raiders. It's like, why should they have a right to say they have a shot? But they do. Here's the deal. The Jaguars at 7-8 are tied with the Titans at 7-8. And that means that they could leapfrog the wild card bunch by winning their division.
Yeah.
And so, the Titans, Jags, AFC, then the Bucks, Saints, Panthers, NFC have kind of a weird deal going there. Their divisions are so bad.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So yeah, and you're right, Caleb. The NFL has kind of made it, awkward for everybody. It's like, are we really having this conversation? I tell you the honest truth. We need to go back to old school football and just take the division winners and let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
I don't want to play walk. I don't want to play poker.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just get with the best teams. They've earned it. They've had a great year and they deserve to go to the playoffs. The rest of you guys, turn your gear in, get ready for next season.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and book that trip to Cancun, dude. All right. You're done.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, man, we're gonna take a bit of a break, but when we come back, we're gonna take a look at some of the teams that are still alive in Week 17 coming up. Everybody, stick around. We'll be right back.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3. Listen,
brother. Listen, rising comic. You got Zachary. All he has to do is say, "Yo, stop, Zachary." Okay, are you Nancy? You say, "Yo, you already know." That's the most gangster thing I have heard all day, nigga. So you work downtown. Is that all you gonna give me, or we gonna? Okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like I'm still gonna be up here 15 more minutes, just staring at you. Nothing to do. Wait real hard like you're having a seizure. All right. You understand, man. You ain't gotta say nothing out loud. Don't hold his arm, first lady. He all right. Beautiful play during the day. Nighttime, gotta lock the doors. He got married, then married again. Is this how y'all do it homestead? Y'all just take it like, I'm only kidding. You don't have to come up. Just sip some water and just leave it up there for people. They said, no, hablo inglés. He said, comedy show. Yes. I said, God can turn your life around. He did it for me. He turned my life around 360 degrees. Okay, some of y'all need to go back to math class. Y'all like, what's the problem with that?
Yeah, welcome back to the Maurice Proud Show. That's a comedy show that I do a few times each year with some of the best Christian comics in the nation. That was Kason Wilson, who writes for the Jon Stewart Show in Los Angeles, and Martin Amini, who is who has a world tour. Check that, a worldwide tour. I'm sorry, a stateside tour. He was in Miami most recently. We're talking to my good nephew, friend Caleb Lopes, all the way live from Port St. Lucie, Florida, as we break down games in the NFL. We're going to break down Week 17 coming up, starting tonight. And they're going to kick that thing off in about 45 minutes. On Prime Video, it's the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Tennessee Titans. How you like this game, Caleb?
Honestly, I feel like Cowboys got that easy win for them. But like I said, the NFL is so unpredictable right now. The Titans could go out there and play like they're supposed to play, run Derrick Henry down the middle. He'll probably get loose a few times if they did that. They use their weapons. But I feel like I think the Cowboys got this tonight.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't see Tennessee winning without Derrick Henry and the National Guard. So we're going to keep moving forward and take a look at some games that are going to be played this Sunday, starting with the 1 o'clock games. Arizona taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Who you got on this one, Caleb?
Kyler Murray isn't back yet, right?
Oh, he's done for the year.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, pretty inconsequential game. Pretty sure both of those teams are already out for the playoffs. They're no chance. But I think Arizona got that game.
Arizona. I mean, you got Colt McCoy and then the Falcons. I don't know if they decided to go with the rookie Ritter from good gosh, I forget the university he's from, but he's a good quarterback. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, both of these teams are eliminated. So, they're going to play the games out. I would go with Arizona as well. Chicago taking on the Detroit Lions at 1 o'clock. That's going to be in Detroit. The playoff hopes for Detroit are still alive. How do you like this one?
I think Chicago. I think Detroit's. Wait, what?
The Bears and Lions.
The Lions. I think they're gonna show up. They're come to play that game, and I think they're gonna get that win. I think they're gonna get the win.
I think so too. I would agree with you. This is a division matchup. They're always blood and guts in the NFC North, in particular. They really try to take each other's heads off. So it's going to be a very competitive game. But I think Detroit understands what they need to do here, and I think they'll take care of business at home. Yeah. Also at 1 o'clock, it's the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think Denver might play a little bit better now that they fired that absolutely horrible head coach of theirs. But Kansas City is going to win. I hope by a blowout.
Well, listen. The last time these two teams played, it was in Denver, and Kansas City barely won the ball game, 34-27. They were leading 27-0 at one point. Broncos almost came all the way back. You would think in this situation at Arrowhead for payback, they would make sure that they would destroy Denver in this one. So yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say a blowout's coming up here. 1 o'clock also. This is a hugely playoff implicated game. Miami versus New England.
Depending on who starts, who's the starting quarterback for Miami, which I don't think they've announced yet.
No.
That's what happens. That if depending on who's starting for Miami, that's what's gonna decide the game.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Caleb.
But I think Miami should end their 4-game skid and bring this home.
I just don't know what to say about this game. I mean, the Dolphins have really leaned 100% on Tua Tagovailoa, and they can't go with him now. And the backups, I think it's Teddy Bridgewater, and I'm really surprised they haven't been able to have success with him because he's a very good quarterback. So you would think Eddie could go out there and get this win for them.
He could. He's a pretty good quarterback. He really is that backup QB that you would want to have. He's dependable.
So I think Miami's a good pick. I'm going to trust that Teddy can go out there and handle his business. I don't know what's happened in the past this year, but this is a huge game for both teams. You can't count Bill Belichick out at any time, although he's not had a lot of success this year. They've been in every game, and
Yeah,
so
they
it could
really
go
have.
either way. It's going to be a good matchup. Playoff implications abound in this one. Also at 1:00, playoff implicated game for one of the two parties in this one. Indianapolis travels to MetLife Stadium to take on the Giants. Who you got?
I think I got the Giants. I'd say this is going to be a decently close game, just because of I think that the Giants have lost 3 in a row now, and they really are in a pretty bad skid. But I think the Giants are gonna take this one home. They're gonna get the win, and I'm pretty sure this locks their playoff chances, right?
Well, they are locked in on that first wild card spot if they continue to win.
Yeah.
And have a chance to really separate themselves. They're not really quite on a skid as they played the Commanders last weekend. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. But anyway, so they are looking okay right now, the Giants. They just need to take care of business with the Colts. If they should do so successfully, that would put them at 9-6-1 and pretty much a headlock on that wild card spot. But and I think they should win the ball game, and there would be no excuse for the Giants to lose this one at home against the Colts. Also at 1:00, the Saints against the Eagles in Philadelphia at 1:00. What do you got in this one?
I would hope that that Philadelphia would win this one by blowout, but like I said, like the NFL right now, it's very unpredictable. The Saints could go out there and play a pretty good game, but I really can't see them winning it, even if they did play their best, which hasn't happened in a while. But I think Philadelphia is winning this game by a lot.
Okay, there's a couple of factors in this game as we get closer to the end of the year. 2 games remain. The Eagles want to wrap up home field if they can. The Cowboys are still alive for that spot right now. You've got an injured Jalen Hurts. His throwing shoulder is pretty banged up.
Yeah.
Do you want to go out there with him or Gardner Minshew and trust that you can win over the lowly Saints in Philadelphia? My math says, hold on a second, carry the 1. Yes!
Yeah, of course.
Yes! There will be no excuse to lose to the Saints at home, with or without Jalen Hurts. Yes!
Yeah, they have one of the best receiving cores, one of the best defenses in the league. Like, why would they lose?
If my math serves me correct. Anyway, let's keep moving. We'll go to the next group of Sunday games at 1:00. It's the Carolina Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Who you got in this one?
I got Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Just because of Tom Brady, really.
Yeah.
There's no one else on that team anymore.
I totally agree. I'll say this. I think the Panthers are dangerous. It's something about the Panthers. They're a very tricky team.
Mm-hmm.
And this game,
they ran all over. They ran, I think, 300 and some yards on the team that they played last week.
Yeah. They're tricky. And I just think that the Bucks have played so poorly this year that they could lose this one. I don't suspect that they will, because the Bucks have a tendency to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. As ugly as it is to witness the game, they win those.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you. I think they should win this one. And it promises to be another very ugly game. We move forward. Cleveland taking on the Washington Commanders. Who you got in this one?
I think I got Washington.
Okay.
Just Cleveland. has been so bad, bro. They've
Yeah.
been so bad.
Yeah.
I just, even with Carson Wentz, they shouldn't lose this game.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
with him.
yeah. I will say this. I think even with Carson Wentz at home, they should. But I'm just glad I'm not a Commander fan because
Yeah,
I mean these
they should.
guys, man, they are really disappointing, dude. And I look at the Browns, and I look at the fact that Deshaun Watson is starting to warm up. You know what I mean? He's starting to get that engine cranked, and when he's going at full throttle, he's a problem.
He's a pretty good, yeah.
And so going into this game, and anytime people see the Commanders, their eyes light up. You
Yeah.
see, and you kind of want to just, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, yeah, it's the Commanders. Let's go get them. So I don't know. I don't know. This one is kind of a toss up. I think the Commanders are making a mistake by going with Carson Wentz. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You signed up for Taylor Heineke. What is the guy's name? Heineke. You guys said that was going to be your dude. And now you sit him on the bench and you go back and go get Carson Wentz. I don't understand the thinking here. Okay. I don't understand the thinking. And because the Commanders don't know what they're doing, I got Cleveland winning this game.
Really?
I got Cleveland winning this game because you don't pull Heineke now. You're all in. You got this far down the road. Finish it. He got you to this point. What did Wentz do for you?
I can see that.
Well, I mean, what did Carson Wentz do for you? He didn't do anything for you. You couldn't wait to throw that guy away once he broke his toe. Did he break his pinky toe or something? I don't know what he broke.
Yeah, it was something.
I don't know if he broke his pinky toe or his labrum. As soon as he got hurt, you couldn't wait to get Heineke out there.
Yeah.
And then all the guys said this was our guy all along. And you know, and then so now you're gonna throw him away? I got the Browns in this one, but they will lose because they need to win. Of course they'll lose because they need to. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I agree with you, Caleb. The Commanders should win this hands down.
Yeah.
Okay, they're trying to get into the playoffs. They're at home. This should be an easy win for them. But then so
it really is it's like throwing the ball up and seeing who catches it. It's a 50-50 with these kind of teams. You never know what's really going to happen.
Well, I think they're going to lose the locker room. That's why I'm saying this. The locker room was behind Heineke.
Yeah.
And it was well documented that they were for Heineke, all the guys. And so you're going to throw this other guy. It's a bad optic. I'll just say that. But on paper, the Commanders should win this game with no problem. We'll see what happens. We've got also coming up at 1 o'clock, Jacksonville taking on the Houston Texans. Who you got in this one?
I'm going to take Jacksonville because they've gotten that energy. They started winning games. They've won two in a row right now. And I think they got this. It's going to be a pretty easy game. They should win by at least a touchdown. And
I'll go with the Jags for sure. The Texans are dangerous, though. It's like you got to like make sure your chin strap is buckled when you play the Texans. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go out there and treat them like a high school team, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
So
you're in the NFL. You can't play around. Like you can go against a team that's 16-0 and you play around. You're still gonna lose.
So I think I like the way the Jags are, or I like their mojo right now. I think they're going to get in, and they're going to win the AFC South, and they're going to playoff. I got the Jags going all the way to the playoffs. Let's go to the 49ers and the Raiders. The Raiders benched Derek Carr. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I heard, and San Francisco easily, but I really think that Las Vegas, they would have a way better chance with Derek Carr out there. Even in his very, very bad performance this season, he's still a better quarterback than whoever they're going to put in Forgot his name. But
They're at, I don't even know who their backup is, and there's
yeah,
probably a good reason for that. Let me just say this: the Raiders are at 6-9. They have a pulse at 6-9. They're in Las Vegas, and the 49ers are coming to town.
I think they're gonna put that dagger.
Hey, look, wake me up when that one's over, because I don't think there's any point watching this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So let's so let's go to the next one. It's the Jets and the Seahawks. Another hugely playoff implicated ball game here. Jets need this one. Seahawks need this one. They're in Seattle. Who you got?
Honestly, I got Seattle.
Okay.
I got Seattle because Seattle. Geno Smith. He's been my very, 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 very black horse MVP since the start.
Yeah,
and he's really done a very good job moving the ball against some pretty good teams, and that's something that the New York Jets just can't do. They can't throw the ball. They can barely run it. So I got Seattle.
Yeah, and they're going to be in Seattle, so they're going to be going up against the 12th man. They haven't had a lot of success this year, to my surprise, at home, but this is a game they have to have. The Jets are just putrid on offense. It's just that simple.
Yeah, honestly.
They have a very good defense, but they can't move the ball. They cannot move the ball for whatever reason. They've tried Zach Wilson. They've tried Joe Flacco. They've tried Mike White. They actually anointed Mike White as the savior about 4 weeks ago. No. So if there's something wrong on the offensive side of the ball for the Jets. Don't know what it is. Unless they can call Joe Namath and get him to come back, they're done.
Yeah.
Joe Namath is, and so anyway, we're going to go on to the next game at 4:25. It's the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Who you got?
I got Minnesota.
Okay.
Green Bay, they're a good team. They're a decent team, but Minnesota, I see them that like Dallas's little brother. They're that team that has all that potential, but they don't really show it. But when they do come to play, they will really beat you up.
Yeah.
So, and I saw the stat: 11 of I think they're 12-4 right now, Minnesota, right?
12-3.
12-3. 11 of their games have been one-score games that they've won on the last drive. Think about that. They've only gotten one game where they've actually gotten more than a 14-point separation.
Wow. I did not know it was that tight.
Yeah. They really like to play around with these games, and I think that's going to catch up to them, especially in the playoffs.
Well, you know what? I do believe you. And I think the Vikings should be able to go into Green Bay and win this game. There's a lot of negativity out there about them as that kind of team you just accurately described. They're at Dallas's little brother, kind of like, they don't always show up, but when they do, they destroy you.
Yeah.
And so they have the potential to get to the Super Bowl and win the whole thing. They're 12-3, for goodness sake.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they have the potential to do that. So that being said, at 4:25 on Sunday as well, it's the LA Rams and the LA Chargers. Who you got?
I got the Chargers. They've been playing decent. This will add one more win to their portfolio for this season.
Yeah.
Lock them in at that number one spot for a wild card. And I think this should be a pretty easy win for them.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I totally agree with you. Now, all this talk about Baker Mayfield and, oh, wow. Everybody just stop it. Right? Just stop it. Yeah. Okay, now, last week, I mean, please. Last week, the Rams beat pretty convincingly who was it they beat last week? Do you remember?
Pretty sure it was the Broncos. Here, let me see.
Okay, it was the Broncos. It was like 30. That's what got Nathaniel Hackett fired. You lost to Baker. Get out. Get your stuff. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, Baker whipped one of the worst. No, I'm not one of the worst offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So now they want to talk about Baker sticking around. Hey, Baker, why don't you hang around a while? And you're gonna regret it. Don't do it.
Whoa.
Anyway, the Chargers should win this game, no doubt.
Yeah.
Now at 8:20 later that night, it's the Steelers and the Ravens. Now the Steelers are at 7-8. Their playoff pulse is still beating. Who you got?
Yeah. Lamar isn't back. Tyler Huntley, I think that's his name. He's really bad. It's like horrible.
Yes.
And they really don't have anything going for them. But I think Baltimore should be able to pull through on this. Like, if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised. But I got Baltimore.
Because they don't have Lamar Jackson, I'm leaning towards the Steelers in this one. They've been playing decent football of late, and they're going to go back to Kenny Pickett because he had self-reported concussion protocol about 3 weeks ago, which caused them to have to put oh my gosh, what's the kid's name? The backup. Well, he was the starter at the beginning of the year, and then they benched him, rightly so. Oh my God. And it's probably a good reason I can't remember his name. His name is not memorable. Don't even try to remember it. But I'm going to go with the Steelers in this game just because they got to win it. I love Mike Tomlin. He's a gamer. He knows how to get his team to rise to the occasion. The Ravens don't have Lamar Jackson, dude.
Yeah,
and they're going to struggle at home against the Steelers. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore won it.
Yeah, it's
fairly
a 50-50
evenly matched game. And on Monday night, it's the Buff. This is actually the game of the week. This Monday night game is the game of the weekend.
Yeah,
the Buffalo Bills travel to Ohio to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got in this one?
Ooh, this is gonna be close. This is gonna be a nice game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I got Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I really like Buffalo.
Yeah,
I really do, but it's gonna be a close game. I doubt that Cincinnati wins by more than a field goal, but I like Buffalo. They don't play to their full extent sometimes, and this is a game that they really need to show up and show out. And Josh Allen, he kind of chokes. He kind of chokes sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
And hopefully they don't make a fool of themselves and go Cincinnati and get blown out. But I think there's gonna be a close game, maybe touchdown or a field goal. But I got Cincinnati.
I would tend to agree with you on that. I think Josh Allen is spotty sometimes. He's inconsistent. He does make mistakes, even though they are a gaudy 12-4. I just don't trust him. And Buffalo, they need home field. If they want to go to the Super Bowl, they need that. I'm just telling you right now, they need that. And so what does that mean? They need to make sure they go into Cincinnati and get this game.
So they better not.
They lose this game. Let me tell you something, dude. They lose this game. That puts the Bengals at 12-4. They would be at 12-5. And then anything can happen at this point. The Bengals, quite frankly and honestly, could somehow end up with home field throughout the entire playoffs. I doubt that's going to happen. I think the Chiefs, if anything, the Chiefs will make sure that they get it if Buffalo doesn't.
Yeah. For sure.
But it's going to be a good game. And that's going to be on ESPN at 8:30 on Monday night. No doubt the game of the week. So we're about to step out of here. And final thoughts before we leave here, Caleb. Do you see any surprises, any curveballs as we wind down to the final two games of the season?
Um, the only real big surprise to me that would happen is if the Raiders somehow manage to beat the Niners in the Sunday game, but I doubt that's gonna happen. Another one is if the Broncos manage to beat the Chiefs, but both of those are very unlikely. So I doubt it will actually happen. Hopefully not. Both those teams should go and handle their business. So yeah, I don't think there's. I think the teams that need to win, except for the Commanders, of course, which they can't seem to do. But the teams that need to win, I think they're going to go handle business and take their spot in the playoffs. And, yeah, I don't think there's really much, a lot of curveballs that can be thrown this week.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll leave everyone with this thought. The Philadelphia Eagles are a team that could end up losing home field throughout the playoffs if they don't take care of business over the next 2 weeks. They've had a dominant run, and it would be a shame to get to the doorstep and not end up making that happen.
Yeah.
Because the 49ers are sitting there waiting for an opportunity to steal it from them. The Vikings are sitting right there waiting for an opportunity to steal it from them. And believe it or not, the Dallas Cowboys are sitting right there waiting to steal home field. Mm-hmm. And they've got an injured starting quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and they have to handle this thing very carefully.
Yeah.
So they need to start by winning with Gardner Minshew over the Saints. It will be inexcusable if they don't beat the Saints with I don't care if it's Gardner Minshew or not. They've got to win that game. So to me, that's the most compelling final couple of laps here to the season. What are the Eagles going to do to make sure they secure home field? Because they really need to make sure that they do that. This has been a great show. Caleb Lopes from Port St. Lucie, Florida, my nephew on the show on the #1 AAU Little League football team in the country, the Treasure Coast Pirates. Thank you, Caleb, for hanging out, and we'll do this again maybe next week.
Okay, yeah, for sure. See you then.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year, and all of y'all could be blessed, stay safe, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays and all of that. I want to also say, if you've enjoyed the show, like it and share it and subscribe to the Maurice Brown Comedy Channel. And if you came in on the end of it, you didn't see it all, you can watch the replay on Facebook or YouTube or Roku TV on the Creative Motion Network, or you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, where all major podcasts are heard. You can hear the Maurice Brown NFL edition show with Caleb Lopes. So in the meantime, everyone stay blessed, and we will see you guys next week. May the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families. Happy holidays and Happy New Year to everybody. God bless.
See you.